In addition to organizing marches, we are pulling in a lot of people for different kinds of talks, forums in university and prep schools and other kinds of school and cultural centers, always taking into account that who we're talking to, the public that we're talking to is very important to take into consideration in these chats that we have. The first chat we gave was organized by the magazine called Generación with the presentation of a network of publications, and one of these publications that we have, where we put this manifest, and we published this. And last year, we were invited to AMECA and our organization by Mr. Juan Garcia Robles and Jorge Reyes, the musician. And we were invited to an alternative forum which had a musical tenor to it. And maybe you can say a punky forum. And we wanted to bring people to, and it's a very important form of expression here in Mexico. And we gathered together there, we gave them a talk, and we got to know each other. And the participation of people there after that talk was very passionate. They were very involved. And we thought, well, let's organize a few days later, we'll get together again, and we'll decide, let's participate. We decided to organize some kind of a march, and we'll be talking to the means of communication. And let's make it very humane, very humanistic, and good to promote good values and be able to hand out information regarding marijuana as a medicinal resource and also for its industrial use, and that we should be very respectful in this march, and we should be very legal. We didn't want to, be picked up by the police, and we were afraid people would come and start consuming and end up in jail. We had never organized any kind of a march. Nothing had ever been done like this before, so we were afraid that we would lose control of this. It was excellent, actually, when it happened. We couldn't keep people from consuming marijuana in public, but they did understand that this is a manifestation, it's a march, and we're asking for the rest of society to cooperate with us, and actually there should be better policies, and that we also wanted to open a dialogue with the means of communication and the press. After this happened, we have begun to give other talks in schools and different types of forums in the Faculty of Philosophy and Literature, and the Casa de la Cultura en la Pirámide, in different places in the UNAM, in the Guamas Sucursalco. We had in an art school. We were invited to Acapulco. One of the people from the press in Acapulco was very interested in our movement regarding legalization, and this person wanted to help develop better policies regarding our drugs. And this is Mr. Lepes, and we went there. We also went to Cuernavaca, where there was another alternative forum. In these particular spaces, it's so important to see the passion of the students and the professors and other academic players, because there hadn't been really a forum to talk about these things, and it was really important for them to be able to kind of pour it all out. And we were really afraid when we started organizing these things that they would just, it would turn into a mess. But this was very respectful, it was very orderly, and there were people from all different kinds of organizations and academic strata, and from different universities. So it was very, very, it was a good forum for talking about this topic that nobody had ever provided such a scenario before. So in these talks, we've met a lot of people, and there's a couple of people down here that I'm going to ask them to come up here and to identify themselves and to give tell us why they're interested in this topic. The first one is Daniel Vosh, who is an activist and he's a writer, and he's very passionate about this topic. Come forward, Daniel. Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Vosh. I am working with AMECA and to VivaConDrogas.com and any other organization that might appear. We will also be with them. I want to tell you that I live in a condominium with a pool, okay, and a wall around the outside, and there were several of us talking, playing the guitar and smoking pot. And one of our neighbors who came in and said that they came down to tell another neighbor to say, who could be smoking pot in our condominium? But they were playing the guitar, so the next time I hear somebody playing guitar, and if I smell marijuana, I'm going to call the cops. This is just an example of what the attitude or the general attitude in Mexico is, the level of consciousness where the problem begins. It's not just in the government. It starts down in the lower level and down in the people. So we have to start with the people, the social climate that we are involved in, this kind of mental state of some of the parents that doesn't allow, that does not allow any kind of dialogue or reasonable dialogue about this topic. This woman who would never vote for a party who was promoting legalization of marijuana. So I think the struggle here in Mexico is not at the same level as it might be in the United States and other places in the first world, where you can talk directly to your legislators. Here there are other priorities, I think, that will have to be taken care of first before we can move into this topic, which is very complicated here in Mexico. And there's going to be a lot of resistance, and there's going to be a tremendous struggle that finally, if we start it right now at any level, it wouldn't be successful. So you kind of have to, I would like to propose that you always keep in mind that what we're trying to do is change the consciousness, not of the politicians necessarily, but of the people who are around you. And that maybe this attitude will come up from the bottom and it will actually go up to where the decision makers are. And that way, we will be able to actually be successful and to open a dialogue on this topic. Thank you.